Have you ever wondered why this channel is called Woodshed Theory? If you'd like to know, then please stick around. Hi guys, it is Claire and this is my channel Woodshed Theory. Here I talk about what it is like to be an adult on the spectrum, and sometimes I will foray into other endeavors such as hair bleach, plant tours, and even the odd rabbit will make an appearance. So if that sounds interesting to you, or if your goal this year was to do at least one good deed a day, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button because I have it on good authority that it is considered a good deed. If you watched my last video, you'll know that I'm kind of going through a personal period of hibernation and I'm struggling a little bit. Happy to report that I'm still hanging in there, but you know, I'm still in the thick of it, so thoughts and prayers. So I thought that it would be a good time to explain why I call my channel Woodshed Theory. I haven't not made this video on purpose, but I did need some time to get a little bit more comfortable with speaking to a camera and sharing my thoughts and feelings, so here we are now. So why did I call my endeavor Woodshed Theory? Well, perhaps first I should go over what the channel is not named after. First of all, this is not an outdoor channel, a woodworking channel, a handyman channel, or a hunting channel. Good thing about this name is that it stands out. Bad thing about this name is that people who normally ask Al about woodsheds are not usually looking for this type of video. But who knows, maybe that'll change. Second, when I was doing my research to make sure that this name wasn't taken and wasn't a registered LLC from someone else, I discovered that woodshed is also a term used by musicians for their practice rooms. You know, the ones with the 70s carpets on the walls, they're kind of small practice room. So no, I am not a musician, and the channel isn't a colloquialism for a practice space. So actually, the name of the channel was inspired by Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Yeah, I know, it's kind of out of left field. But when I was in high school, I had started studying for the SATs, and also I have always had a goal to read as many classic books as I can. So I found a copy of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein that had the book on one side of the page, and then on the other side of the page, they defined all of the SAT vocabulary that was on the other side of the page. So it was a great way to learn vocabulary in its context while you're reading. What's pretty interesting is I cannot remember if I finished this book. And the only thing that stuck with me from the book is actually where I got my name for the channel. What I do remember is the book was very different than I thought it would be. I think we all have a vision in our head of Frankenstein, the big green monster with bolts in his neck, that black and white, scary movie Frankenstein that we're all familiar with. One of the things I was most surprised about is that some of the sections in the book are actually narrated from the perspective of Frankenstein's creature. I would say monster, but in the book, that terminology isn't used. It really is like his creature, his creation, his reanimated life that he's brought into this world. My memory on some of this is a little bit foggy, and I haven't reread the book in a minute, so if I'm off on some of the details, I ask forgiveness in advance. So in the book, Frankenstein's creature actually escapes Frankenstein at a certain point and makes a go for it on his own out in the world. He actually flees to a forest in the Swiss Alps where he, the recently awakened creature, takes refuge in a woodshed that's adjoining the cottage of a family who lives in that area. They're actually called the DeLacy's. At this point, he really is a creature. He is kind of working blind. He's working on impulses. He cannot speak or communicate with other people at this point. He can't blend in. So during the year that he is living in this woodshed hovel adjoining space, he can actually peer through the lats on the wall and into the cottage where the family is living. By doing this, he's able to observe this family and also learn about the world. He learns how to speak. He learns how humans treat each other. Basically, he takes the time to observe and absorb all of that information that he needs to be able to make it as a functioning part of society. Basically, this is just a creature who has some semblance of humanity. The pieces of him are human, but he doesn't have the roadmap of what it means to be human. He just one moment did not exist, and then one moment was animated and existed. So as he sits and observes this family and learns how to speak and how to read, he really becomes less of a creature and more of an enlightened person, an enlightened being. What really struck me about this was how eloquently the creature was able to express himself in his own words in this part of the book. As a person who has gone through a later in life autism diagnosis, I feel a lot like the creature in this story. Personally, I feel like I'm in my own woodshed period in my life where I am sitting back and just peering through the lats in a wall, trying to learn how to communicate with people and figure out humanity. I am observing the world around me from inside of myself. I am learning more about what it means to be human and how neurotypicals communicate, and that has made life a lot easier for me. My level of self-understanding and self-awareness is significantly higher than it used to be. My ability to relate to and to speak to people has also greatly improved. So this channel and this time in my life is really about my own personal woodshed theory and the period of observation where I'm experiencing life in a new way since my diagnosis. Or perhaps in the case of Frankenstein, this is my reanimation, my new start, my enlightenment even. So it's hard to say exactly why this part of the book stuck with me in such a way. But when I was thinking about what I wanted to name my company and my channel, I was really reflecting on my life and my experiences and trying to find a way to describe how I am feeling. And I feel like Frankenstein's creature, newly reborn into life, and I'm observing the world through new eyes and taking in new information. And that is what my woodshed theory is to me. It's my time of introspection, of learning and self-awareness. Maybe, I hope that I'm getting my point across okay. So that is why my channel is called Woodshed Theory. I know it's a little bit out there, it's a little bit different, but seems to have gotten good reception. Do you know the story that I'm talking about? Have you read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein? Are you familiar with his time in the woodshed of learning to speak, learning to read, becoming educated? And do you think that that's similar to the experience of learning that you're on the spectrum and trying to figure out where you fit in the world now and what the best way to communicate with neurotypical people is? And on top of that, the best way to communicate with neurodiverse people and build a community there. So far, I'm liking the name. I think it perfectly describes my current situation, and I am just grateful that my strange brain remembered that detail from so many years ago. But I thought that it was a great way to explain how I've been feeling and where I'm at in my life. And it's not meant to be like a sad name. It's meant to be a hopeful name, an exciting name. Just describing a period of time in my life that I'm going through currently and that I'm so grateful and appreciative for. So definitely let me know what you think about the name Woodshed Theory in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. Do you have similar stories that resonate with you during your autism experience and diagnosis? Let me know down below. I have to say that the outreach and the feedback from y'all has been so positive and encouraging to me, and it's really helping me. So I wanted to thank you for that. I think that by the time this video is uploaded, we'll be at 300 subscribers. Super, super grateful for that. Everyone has been very supportive, and I just can't say thank you enough. So I hope that you have a wonderful day. If you have any more questions about why I call my channel Woodshed Theory, go ahead and comment down below, and I will see you on Friday.